We will discuss in detail the 23rd verse of Chapter 1, Rasamarana, from the Prathamopadesha of the Rasaratnakara Rasayankhand. Welcome, everyone! I am so thrilled to have you here for this deep dive into an absolute masterpiece of ancient Indian alchemy. Okay, let's dive into this structural roadmap. First, we'll cover the text's history, then its five-part structure. From there, we'll hit verse 23's philosophy on nectar and poison, the rigorous rules of alchemy, and finally, practical elixirs and cosmetics. Section 1, the Rasaratnakara Explained. I am absolutely pumped to examine the authentic, original pages of this classical manuscript with you. Take a look at this title page from a 1939 printed edition. Notice how the Sanskrit and English typography sit right side by side? It's literally bridging an ancient tradition with early 20th century scholarship. Importantly, this page formally establishes Sri Nityanatha Siddha as the author of this specific volume, the Rasayankhand. Section 2. The five-part structure. To truly grasp this text, we really need to understand where it fits into the author's broader encyclopedia of knowledge. Based on the editor's preface, the complete Rasaratnakara is a massive compilation broken down into 5 distinct sections. We have the Rasakhanda, the Rasendrakanda, the Vadikanda, our focus today, the Rasayankhand, and finally, the Mantrakanda. So our deep dive today is strictly on this 4th part, which is dedicated entirely to rejuvenation therapies and medicinal alchemy. Section 3, verse 23, Nectar and Poison. This is the philosophical anchor of the entire text, focusing heavily on why methodology is absolutely crucial. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it visually pinpoints the Prathamopadesha on the page. If you scan down, you'll spot the 23rd shloka, or verse. You know, this isn't just some poetic line. It acts as a stark, uncompromising warning to the practitioner about the powerful substances they're handling, specifically amritam, meaning nectar, visham, meaning poison, and rasa, representing mercury. Let's break this incredible verse down piece by piece. The Roman transliteration reads, Amritam vidhi samyuktam, vidhihinam tu tad visham. If we look at the word segmentation, the padisheda, we get amritam, meaning nectar, vidhi samyuktam, meaning combined with proper method, vidhihinam, meaning devoid of method, tu, meaning but, tat, meaning that, and visham, meaning poison. So the simple prose meaning, the anvaya, is stark. It's saying that same powerful substance, specifically rasa or mercury, when processed with strict method, yields life-giving nectar. But devoid of method, it remains a deadly poison. The absolute essence here is that rigorous methodology transforms a hazard into a medicine. And this mirrors descriptions found in the Charka Samhita's Sutrasthana and the Ashtanga Hridaya, both of which emphasize that exact pharmaceutical processing is non-negotiable. Even in other alchemical texts like the Rasarnava, purified mercury is praised supremely, but always, always with this exact caveat. Section 4. The Rules of Alchemy. Because of verse 23's severe warning, the text immediately lays out rigorous lifestyle rules for anyone undergoing these intense treatments. Here we see a sharp contrast laid out in the initial chapters. On one side, we have the pathyani, the permitted and encouraged regimens. This includes easily digestible, nourishing foods. Specifically, the text highlights moon yusha, a green gram soup, and odana, which is properly cooked rice, as your ideal dietary guidelines. On the flip side are the vajrayani, the strictly forbidden regimens, like sleeping during the day or eating heavy vegetables. And what if a practitioner made an error? Well, the text actually prescribes a method of prayaschita, a specific atonement in mental purification to physically and psychologically realign the patient before they could even continue. That is how tightly controlled this ancient alchemical process was. Section 5. Elixirs and Cosmetics. Let's shift our focus to the practical side of this manual and explore the specific formulations promised to those who actually followed these strict methods. Here we have the original verses detailing the Mrita Sanjivani Gudika. Now, the classical text claims this specific elixir pill is targeted at conquering the diseases of aging. The name itself literally implies bringing the dead or dying back to vitality. But to achieve this result, the precise dosage of the medicine and the incredibly complex method of preparation had to be followed to the absolute letter. So, the crucial point is understanding this highly structured, step-by-step physical processing. To prepare this new substance, the practitioner first had to gather exact quantities of specific botanical herbs. Next, they mixed these with the rasa, that's the mercury, that had already undergone the intense method-driven purification we talked about earlier. Finally, the combination was baked repeatedly in a closed crucible. The resulting outcome? A potent medicinal compound administered in strict, minuscule dosages alongside those dietary guidelines of mungyusha and milk. Let's move to and see how this builds. This beautifully illustrates the incredible breadth of the manual. By placing the index right next to the formulation chapter, we can see that alongside grand, life-extending elixirs, the manual also provided highly practical, everyday cosmetic applications. Here we are specifically looking at Kesharanjana, the art of hair coloring and blackening. The text meticulously blended everyday botany with its alchemical principles, listing key botanical ingredients for hair blackening, like triphala, bhringaraja, and indigo. Now, while classical claims regarding alchemical transmutation remain unverified in modern science, and modern toxicology strictly classifies unrefined heavy metals as severe hazards, the botanical side of this text is deeply respected today. Seriously, a quick search through modern Ayurveda research on Google Scholar reveals extensive scientific evidence supporting the efficacy of these specific cosmetic botanicals, even as we critically evaluate the ancient alchemical methods. Which brings us to our conclusions and key takeaways. The historical significance of the Rasaratnakara really lies in its absolute insistence on strict pharmaceutical methodology. Remember verse 23's warning about nectar and poison? Its modern significance is found in how it cataloged vast amounts of botanical knowledge that we are still researching today. And areas for further research continue to explore exactly how these ancient practitioners observed and recorded complex chemical reactions. So I'll leave you with this question to ponder. How much of modern pharmacology's roots trace back to the meticulous methodologies of early alchemical manuals like the Rasaratnakara? On behalf of the Vedmata AI family, we humbly request that if you found our presentation informative, please share our video widely so that authentic knowledge from Indian Vedic texts can reach the masses. Let us all come together to participate in this Gyan Yajna, sacrificial offering of knowledge. Har Har Mahadev.